Hello, my dear Cretinions. I have watched a lot of spooky movies this month. I've seen a bunch of gems and I have seen a lot of trash. But one movie in particular caught my eye, and that movie is Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. Purely because of how ridiculous and ludicrous it is. What if I told you this movie did not star Michael Myers as the killer whatsoever? What? So the movie has this intro where it zooms in on this pumpkin, and that's just like the original Halloween, you know. It zooms out and it has the eerie Michael Myers-esque horror Halloween music playing in the background. Now, they have a different song for this, which, you know, makes sense because the original's so intrinsically linked to Michael Myers that, you know, it might confuse a few people. A bit like naming your movie Halloween 3 and not having Michael Myers in the movie at all. That may be a tad confusing also, but you know, I think they overlooked that little detail. So the intro rolls, and we see this old man running away from this car with the two evil businessmen in them that are trying to murder him, and he's clasping onto this Halloween mask. Now remember that'll be important for later. Do not forget that. Now, he runs into this junkyard and hides behind this car, you know, like, you know, you would. But they go away seemingly, and then they come back. And when they come back, he decides to pop his head up over the car. So this man deserves to die. I've lost all pity for this old man, because he's done something extremely stupid, and has popped his head up from behind the car. And I swear to God, they have to introduce some form of stupidity, this engineered stupidity into these situations in order to make the movie work, because no one in this situation would have done that.
I don't know where he went. Let's just go. There he is! Get him! Oh, fuck!
So the old man doesn't die yet. He passes out and gets taken to a hospital, which is actually kinda empty, surprisingly, for a hospital. You would think that it would have at least some nurses and doctors staffed in there, but there's barely anyone in there. It doesn't make any fucking sense. We're in the hospital and this old man's in bed and he gets drugged for being hysterical and saying that they're going to murder us, they're going to kill us, whilst he's clasping onto this Halloween mask. And, you know, that old chestnut, they kind of just drugged him because he was spouting all of this bullshit. So our protagonist, which is Daniel, goes and has a nap because he's a doctor and he's tired, he needs to go and have a nap. Whilst this is happening though, the businessman, the evil businessman that was stalking the old man at the beginning, comes into the hospital, manages to get past everyone, gets past security, goes into the bedroom and breaks open this guy's skull. He puts some gloves on, you know, doesn't get the blood on his hands, but he decides that, you know, he's got to wipe off the blood because that's kind of gross. You don't want the blood on your hands, you know, that makes sense. He's got to make sure that he doesn't look suspicious. But he gets caught by the nurse. And then he kind of just like strolls out of the hospital and, you know, gets into his car. And what do you think happens? Do you think he gets into his car and escapes? Ha! Wrong. He doesn't get into his car and escape. No. That would be stupid. He gets a can of gasoline, covers himself full of gasoline in this car, and sets himself on fire. I mean, fire is the most purifying way of cleaning yourself. It cuts to morning, and Daniel is there giving a statement to the police, you know, as you would, when his wife calls him. And his wife is super pissed from the get-go. And he's explaining, I'm sorry, I can't leave the hospital because, you know, someone was murdered here last night. She's like, are you fucking kidding me? Essentially, and just look after your fucking crotch goblins yourself, lady. This guy's literally fucking dealt with someone being murdered in his hospital the previous night. That's a pretty good extenuating circumstance. It's at this point that we're introduced to Ellie, the daughter of the old dead man. Now keep an eye on her. She's gonna come back later. She's quite an important character. She's gonna fuck Daniel. Daniel gets a little suspicious and goes down to talk to the coroner because, you know, he's a bit suspicious of the fucking guy who walked into the hospital and used the strength of the fucking Hulk to smash an old man's skull open. Now, there's one thing about this scene that really fucking makes me laugh because she, like, gives him a little kiss on the cheek and he walks away after they've had this conversation. And when he's out of earshot, he's been gone. She's like, "Are you okay?" And what? How are you supposed to hear that? That's so fucking ludicrous. Yeah, so it's been really hard. We had to put the dog down, and it's been a really shit time. I'm so sorry. If you need anything, I'm here. I'll always be here for you. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Alright. Bye. Are you okay? What? Can't hear you! A few days pass, and Daniel is sitting alone in a bar. He's drinking, you know, and then the original Halloween comes on the TV. And I have to say, that's pretty fucking meta, and I kinda like that. Why have this trailer for Halloween play on the TV? Well, I'll tell you, it's because Silver Shamrock, the company who make the Halloween masks that the old man was clasping onto, see, I told you they'd be important, they'd return at some point. Silver Shamrock are paying for this Halloween movie to be played on TV before their big giveaway event. Their advertisements are kind of fucking creepy. It has this kid going around going, "Happy, happy Halloween, 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 happy, happy Halloween, Silver Shamrock." It gets stuck in your fucking head. I hate it. Ellie comes into the bar and finds Daniel because that's where she's been told to find him. She asks him a few questions about her father on the night that he died, and Daniel's pretty evasive at first. For some reason, I don't understand why people do this. It's so fucking dumb. You may think, oh yeah, he's just trying to protect her, but that's kind of fucking stupid.
I just found this important evidence. It could crack the case.
Incredible. Well, show it to me then.
Nuh-uh.
What? Show it to me?
I'll never tell.
Then I'm arresting you for perverting the course of justice.
Oh no. Ah!
He ends up dropping the defences and kind of explains everything that he remembers happening to her father and with her father. She reveals that she's been doing some kind of like detective work, finding out what's been going on with her father the night before he died. She's actually pretty fucking smart because, of course, in a situation like this, you would go and fucking investigate what's going on. That's probably the smartest fucking thing I could expect from a movie like this. So they go to the not at all anti-Irish town of Santa Mira, and it kind of tells you about Conal Cochran, who runs the toy factory. It gives you a bit of an idea of what this town is and how fucking bizarre it is, because when they're going through the town, it plays out like it's almost got this cult-like mentality. Like they saw someone from the outside come into the town and they're pretty fucking confused about who these people are and what they're doing in their town. So to not raise any suspicions, the pair pretend to be a married couple and go and stay in a motel together. And, you know, that kind of makes sense. Whilst they're, like, unpacking their baggage, Daniel goes into the reception office and finds out that her dad had been here the night before. Not the night before, he's dead. A week before. Also staying at the hotel are the Kupfers. They're the stereotypical American family, and they're really fucking amped up in how they speak and talk to people. Now there's Buddy, there's Betty, and there's little Buddy. Oh, that's not actually his name, is it? Oh, what a poor fucking child. The fact he's fucking named Little Buddy, I mean, not even Buddy Jr. is fucking ridiculous. It's like if I named my fucking clone Little Cretin. That reminds me. Little Cretin, I want some water. Get in here.
Told you, I don't want to be called Little Cretin.
Well, tough, it's my channel now. Bugger off. Oh, cheers, Little Cretin. Now we find out that all of these different people are here, including another person called Marge. They're all here to get a shipment that has not been delivered to them by Cochrane's factory. He goes into the bedroom and tells her what he's learned. She's kind of like, yeah, let's go to the factory now. And he's like, no, I'm tired, let's go to bed. And then eventually they just have sex, which is a bit fucking weird when you've gone out to this town, find out who murdered your dead father, and you just kind of go into the bedroom and bang before learning anything else other than the fact he was here. My god, this fucking movie. So, after the not sex scene that we see, because it cuts away, thank god, I don't want to see that shit, Daniel goes to a liquor shop because he wants something to drink. He wants a stiff drink because he's clearly a raging alcoholic. And maybe that's why his wife left him. That, along with the fact he constantly lies to her. He lied to her about coming to Santa Mira. Maybe that's why she was so suspicious of the murder thing that happened in the hospital. I am sorry, Daniel's wife. When he comes out of the liquor store, he comes and finds this homeless man who's in the alley. And the homeless man asks him for some alcohol. And he's like, yeah, sure, fucking have some, I don't really care. Whilst he's doing that, he asks him about Connell Cochrane, the guy who owns the town. Despite the fact that this place is shown to be a surveillance state with CCTV cameras and ways that they're just kind of listening in on you, and it has a fucking curfew set by the Silver Shamrock factory. Even knowing this, the homeless man drops this bomb about Connell Cochrane and how he's ruined the town, he's bringing in outside workers, he won't hire anyone from inside the town, and then goes on to say that he intends to Molotov cocktail the fucking factory that Connell owns and burn it to the ground. Now, I don't have a problem with this. This guy's clearly fucking, not the homeless man, but Connell Cochrane is clearly fucking dodgy as shit. Despite this, knowing that he's listening in on him, the homeless man drops this bomb of information about what he's going to fucking do. After this, the homeless man goes back to his abode of an outdoor space because he's homeless. And Daniel goes back to the hotel room, but the homeless man is accosted by two of the businessmen, the fucking super strength businessmen who have the power to fucking smash skulls. He was like, no, I was just kidding, I was just joking is all. And the two businessmen rip his fucking head off with their bare hands. The brute strength it would take to do some shit like that is insane. Now Daniel returns to the hotel room and has sex with Ellie again, and it's so much sex that I really don't know. Does this have something to do with the investigation? Do they need to have sex this often to understand what's going to happen? Because they have so much sex. Meanwhile, in Marge's room, she's fiddling around with the Silver Shamrock logo. It's got a little chip in it. And she's fiddling around with it with like a fucking hairpin. And while she's doing this, she gets shot in the face with a fucking laser. Is Connell Cochrane's plan to fucking murder every child who buys his masks on Halloween? Because that's a terrible business plan. I mean, you're not going to make any money the next Halloween. And I mean, oh no, not the morality of it, all the children. Won't someone please think of the children? But the business plan, it's so bad. The profit margins, Connell, they're going to drop. So after all of this, and after Marge has been shot in the face with this fucking laser, Connell Cochrane turns up with a ambulance that is got from the fucking Silver Shamrock place, and the motel owner goes up to him and he's like, misfire. So everyone's in on the fact that this is happening for some reason, apart from that one homeless man who had his head ripped off, but you know, you can't please everyone. Yeah, he takes the body away and they don't really question it too much and say they're going to take it to the factory because They've got a state-of-the-art medical facility there in a toy factory. So after all this happens, Daniel goes into the office and calls his coroner friend and asks her to look up Connell Cochran, which is a terrible idea. You know that you are being listened to by everyone. The homeless man told you so. And now you've just fucking got your friend killed. Well done, Daniel. Daniel and Ellie go to the factory. They bump into the Kupfers, who are being celebrated for selling the most Halloween masks. Connell Cochran comes out and says that Marge has been taken to the best medical facility in San Francisco, I believe. The Kupfers say, "Hey, we're about to go on a tour. Can they come with us? My buddies that I met 2 seconds ago." They do. They go on this tour. They go around the factory. And while they're on this tour of the factory, Connell gets this Halloween mask and gives it to Little Buddy. And Little Buddy was going to reach for the one that had no tag on it, had no laser death device on it. Of course, he doesn't know that that's what it is. But Connell says, "Oh, no. You don't want that one. You want this one." And then gives him one with the logo on. So, of course, Connell's just trying to get the highest amount of KD as possible, because he just wants to fucking murder everyone, apparently. Towards the end of this tour, Daniel, Ellie, and the Kupfers all go outside. They see this bit that says processing, but they can't go there, Connell tells them. So they go, and Ellie sees her dad's car being surrounded by a bunch of the businessmen, the fucking super strength businessmen. I don't know what I'm fucking talking about. This movie is so insane. But she goes up to the car to be like, "Hey, that's my dad's car." Great way to keep your cover, fucking idiot. Daniel stops her. He goes up to her and they both decide, "Hey, I'm gonna leave town because this place is pretty fucking creepy and I think something is definitely dodgy that is going on here." But unfortunately, everything that's just happened, Connell has seen, so he knows that something is pretty suspicious and they're here to interfere with his plans. They go back to the motel and Ellie, whilst this is happening, gets kidnapped by the businessman. It doesn't even sound scary. Oh man, I'm gonna get kidnapped by the businessman. When this happens, Daniel discovers that she's been kidnapped in the hotel room and the businessmen are all closing in at the front of the hotel. So he jumps out the back window and infiltrates the factory. Now he's running around and then he finds this doll that is kind of like an automated doll that looks like a person. Yeah, and then the robot businessman comes out and Connell comes out. Oh yeah, did I mention? Daniel punches one in the chest and it turns out they're a robot. Connell reveals that these are robot businessmen and he builds them because they're more reliable than humans. So Connell goes down and takes Daniel down to the processing area to show him what happens. And it turns out Connell has stolen a piece of Stonehenge. How the fuck do you get that out of the country? How do you manage to get a chunk of Stonehenge out of the UK? His arse? Did he shove it up his arse and go through customs? Oh my sir, you got a license for that fucking piece of Stonehenge up your arse? Oh, it's so bad. So Cochran then shows Daniel the brutal murder of the Kupfers. And the way that he's planning to murder everyone is through the big giveaway. So what he does is he shows this transmission that he's going to send out as like a test on the Kupfers. And what it does is it shoots a laser into the back of Little Buddy's little head and it kills the kid. Then a bunch of fucking rattlesnakes and bugs come out of Little Buddy's mouth and starts killing the other 2 Kupfers. Where did the snakes come from? Fucking Connell says it's part of this big sacrifice he's got planned. For some reason, he thinks that Stonehenge is a part of a sacrificial circle, and that's what it is, and that's what it's been this entire time, which is pretty fucking stupid, but that's part of the course in this movie. For the motivation for this brutal murder, Connell tells us that the reason he did this was he's just a bit of a practical joker, you know. He's just a bit of a goofy guy, and it's all part of this big sacrifice, and did like a practical joke, like a prank. How's it going, so boys? It's me, Peter, and today we're gonna congratulate Cochrane on his epic prank. No, it's my turn, Cretin. No, not the fight. No. No, please just let me have a turn. No, he's gone. Let's get back to it and finish this fucking movie. Daniel breaks out of his chair in this locked room, fucking Rambo style. And then he goes through this factory. He grabs Ellie out of this room where they're keeping her. And what he does is he sets all the things to go, and like the transmission to go inside the factory. And he throws them all off and sets all the chips off, and killing Cochrane and all of his cronies. And I have to say, well played, my dude. You fucking went and you killed that guy. Well done. The factory blows up behind them because, of course it does, and that piece of Stonehenge is gone forever now. Thanks, Cochrane. The broadcast is still going to happen though. So after the factory's exploded, the two get in a car and they start driving away. And at this point, when they're leaving the town, Ellie grabs the wheel and causes Daniel to crash when it's revealed that Ellie was replaced with a robot. So it turns out that she died in the fucking factory explosion as well now. So, you know, well done, Daniel. You can't even save the woman that you had sex with a multiple amount of times. Daniel cuts her head off and then starts running towards, and he runs to the gas station from the start of the movie where the old man passed out. And Daniel's on the phone trying to get the broadcast stopped. But he can't even fucking do this. Because the film ends with him kind of like screaming, "Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Stop it!" And, yeah, it doesn't get turned off, and all the kids fucking die. And I'm pretty sure the US doesn't just run on one broadcast station, because the entirety of America is going through the same thing. So he wouldn't have saved all of America anyway. He would have just saved maybe his family and his kids, which is fair enough. But yeah, of course, they fucking die. All the kids die. And he fails. He's the worst protagonist I've ever seen in a Halloween movie. And this movie is possibly the most ridiculous Halloween movie I have ever seen. I mean, that was their attempt at turning the horror movie into like a anthology-like series. And obviously it didn't work because it was bad. It was so fucking bad. I do not think I am going to give this one a rewatch. It has a bunch of fucking plot holes, a stupid ending, and just some of the weirdest shit I've ever seen in a film. Alright, I'll catch you all next time. Make sure you subscribe to earn a place within the Cretinian army. We are growing fast and we are going to take the world one aloe at a time. Make sure you hit that like button to get a commendation, and also hit that bell button to rank up in the army. It's a fast track, essentially. It's a quick way to rank up in the Cretinian army. You know, you're going to rank up here pretty fast. We're very friendly within the Cretinian army. Alright, happy Halloween, and goodbye.
Flick me, will ya?
Ow! Little bastard. Video's over. Go away.
Where was our shout-out, Ethan?
I gave you a shout-out on the description.
Nobody reads the description, Ethan.
I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry. Be better.